Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Film Snobbery Live. I am your host, the film snob Nick Baisley. We are here with a very prolific actor. You may have seen him as Hercules and Hercules: The Legendary Journeys, as well as Captain Dylan Hunt in the television show Andromeda. He's an all-around great guy. He's involved in a lot of other projects that we're going to talk about tonight, as well as a very charitable man as well. We're going to talk about what he's doing for kids a little bit later in the show. I want to welcome everybody to our guest for the evening, Mr. Kevin Sorbo. Hey Kevin, thank you for being on the show and being patient with us while we work through some technical issues.
You gotta do what you gotta do, man.
And that's how it is. And I want to thank you for reaching out to us on Twitter and everything. It's really greatly appreciated, and I've been a fan for a really long time.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
So you've been really busy lately. You've got a string of projects coming up. One of the first questions I wanted to ask you is, do you find it more rewarding to work on a lot of different projects, over the course of a period of time, or do you kind of get a little bit more satisfaction of having the security of being in, like a TV series like Hercules or Andromeda?
I like the TV series life. I really do. I mean, I don't mind doing the movies. They just take me away more. I'm traveling more these last 5 years. And, I got 3 small kids, and it's kind of a bummer sometimes. And, half of these trips I'm unable to go with me. So, I'm trying to search for another series. A couple of really great ideas, a couple of wonderful scripts that we're trying to get out there, or that we are getting out there. But, it's a combination of what's going on right now in the world with the economy. It hurts Hollywood, it hurts anybody else. So it's been tough to get a couple of these things. I've got 2 that are just amazing action dramas, and everybody loves them. And they held on them. A couple studios held on them for a long time, and before they passed on them. So it's weird out there. It seems right now, and believe me, the American actors are taking note of this. Hollywood has a love affair with if you're Canadian, Australian, or English, certainly with English for Australians, and then they want you to speak like an American once they give you the role. And it's weird. It's a weird thing, and there's been a number of us actors that have noticed that trend over the last couple of years. It's like we can't go work in their countries, but they can certainly work here. It's a little bit of annoying to a lot of actors, including myself.
So you're doing a lot of these other movies. Now, generally, how do you get involved in these? Are people contacting you? Do you go out and you actively look at scripts and stuff like that, or is it more passive? Like, do you have people that are just passing you stuff all the time?
Yeah. Well, agents and managers. Yeah. Ask any actor how they feel about their agents and managers. Okay. It's weird. I started my own production company about 2 years ago, and I've gotten more work on my own than my managers and agents have gotten combined. And it's strange. You would think with all the layoffs that have been going on with any agencies and managerial offices, that the ones who have survived work a little harder for you, but they don't. And I'm not the only actor who feels that way. It's a very frustrating road when I feel like I've paid my dues. I've got some great credits I've got following around the world. Hercules and Andromeda are still airing in 50 countries around the globe. Mm-hmm. You would think that would garner you a little bit more respect, but it's tough. I don't want to sound like sour apples here. It's brutal when you got to go back out there and feel like you're starting over again. But I'll tell you, the best thing that's come out of this, when I started my production company, is the doors that happen open to me, and it certainly comes from the people that I have met in this industry, and it's gotten me more work. It's opened the doors in so many different avenues for me in terms of producing and directing. And I got 2 directing gigs coming up early next year, and to me that's all positive thing. I've always been a firm believer if you want something done right, you got to do yourself anyway. So just another realistic point of view of that belief.
No, I absolutely believe that, and you sound like you're very. I know this is just a compliment to you, but you just obviously sound like you're very knowledgeable about the business of being an actor. And someone told me a quote, and I was so fortunate to meet you on Twitter that the first time we spoke, I was able to repeat the quote back, which was, I believe you had said something akin to, "It's not show, it's show business."
Yeah, a friend of mine told me that when I moved from Minneapolis area, originally Minnesota. before I left, a good friend said, remember, it's not show business. I mean, it's not show, it's show business. I treated it like a business when I got out of here. I mean, I hit the road hard. And, you know, I paid some heavy dues for about 7, 8 years before I got my big break activities. And, you know, so I was lucky. You know, I never had to work other jobs. I just always believed in myself. And, you know, I worked really well commercially, was paid all of my bills, and let me live, you know, I lived a comfortable life. I never was like hand-to-mouth. I was just always comfortable ahead of the curve. And I got lucky with a rent-controlled apartment in Santa Monica, which is beautiful because I'm a water guy growing up in the lakes, and it was nice to have the big ocean sitting there where I could go biking and running and rollerblading, all my frustrations out of me. So it was, you know, I was very fortunate, but I think a lot of times we have good fortune that it comes from hard work and being ready to jump through those doors that are opened up to you.
And speaking of the hard work, you are incredibly busy right now. You're involved with a number of projects that are coming out, even just this year, not counting all the projects that you're in production with or starting production with. You've got a movie, we've got a clip that we're going to, well, the trailer for that we're going to show in a moment. You've got a movie coming up called What If, where, you know, from the trailer, which everyone will see, you play seems like a business guy who ends up kind of through some sort of twist of fate, ending up kind of becoming a family man.
You know, What If it's a reverse It's a Wonderful Life meets Family Man. Yeah. And I play a guy that in his 20s, you know, he was engaged, had a beautiful girlfriend, beautiful fiance, and he says, look, I got to take this job. He gets a job offer that takes him away from her for 9 months. He says, it's going to be 9 months. I'll be back. Well, you know, for a better future he promised for her and for him together, he never comes back. We flash forward 15 years later, and he's this high-powered investment banker, and he's pretty much a selfish guy. And he's not really a jerk. He's just a guy that sort of lost his way, that he thinks that everything's cool and everything's great, and he's visited by an angel in the form of John Ratzenberger, who sort of slaps him on the side of the head to show him how much he screwed up his life. And I think all of us have a what if in our life, no matter what that may be. And this angel shows up and says that you've been chosen to show, you know, what if you had gone down this road instead of that road. And, it's an interesting ride for my character. He knows a lot about himself in this alternate reality.
Well, we're going to show the audience a little peek at that alternate reality now. We're going to go show the trailer for What If, and then when we come back, we've got more Kevin Sorbo. Lots more to talk about, so stick around.
You're not Julius Caesar, okay?
No, I'm not. You didn't think big enough.
What if you had the perfect life?
Mercedes-Benz SL65.
Will you marry me?
Of course, Penny Bear.
What if God
Came today some kind of missionary letter?
Wendy.
Who's she?
Old girlfriend. We almost got married.
You still talk to her?
I make a point of never going back.
had other plans?
What's going on? No. Kidding me? It's a brand new car.
I'm an angel sent here to help you straighten out your life.
Okay.
Close your eyes. Count backwards from 100.
No.
Fine. All right. Well, have it your way.
Mommy, Daddy's crawling on the floor.
Dad, no, I'm not anybody's dad.
A divine intervention.
What is this? What's Wendy doing here? Why does everyone act like they know me?
Gives him a second chance.
Reverend, I'm ready for you now. Reverend. You know, I try to make more money so you can buy things, and then you'll be happy.
It's called The Great What If.
What if?
See, every now and then he chooses someone to re-examine their life.
Daddy paid the most popular guy in Clearville $80 to stay away from me. This is the worst thing that's ever happened to me. And it's all because of you.
I can't be the Ben that they think I am. I'm not your husband, and I'm not their father.
I knew I was adopted.
When you walked away, you broke two hearts, Wendy's and his. And now he's given you another chance.
Thank you for letting me make things right, even though I don't deserve it all. I want to be yours from now on.
Kevin Sorbo, Christy Swanson, John Ratzenberger, and Debbie Ryan.
Thanks, Daddy.
Still playing
You're
the
welcome.
trailer, Kevin.
From producer Jerry Jenkins, author of the Left Behind series.
I spent years thinking I was happy, but I didn't know what happy meant.
What if?
You know, you're pretty tough for an angel. Where do you rank?
They send me someone important.
The fact that I'm sitting here babysitting you should tell you where I rank.
And we're back, folks. Once again, I mentioned that that I had found Kevin, and Kevin had found me on Twitter. Kevin, I have a quick question for you. As far as like social networking and stuff like that, I know you have a Facebook fan page, and I know you're on Twitter. Do you find have you kind of rediscovered a lot of your fans, or have a lot of your fans rediscovered you through that, and have you been able to make anything happen off the social networking at all, or is that kind of just a personal thing for you?
Well, I've always been kind of a computer idiot, so it took me a while to sort of jump on board the whole thing. It's something I probably should start using back in the 90s when, the computer was on a huge fast rise and Hercules was on the air, because I probably could have brought along a lot more computer fans, so to speak. And, I've jumped on there now, and it's been interesting. I try to get on when I can. I mean, everything's so busy, it's hard for me to get on every day to do something, but I try to post something, and just to let people know that I am out there, and I do appreciate the following, I do appreciate the big fans. So, it's just, like I said, I do what I can do with the time I'm given.
All right, no, and that makes a lot of sense too. I mean, I know a lot of people that have that same problem where it's just like they should have got in earlier. It's like people who wish they bought stock in Google a long time ago. It's like I should have got in back in the day. So the question I have after that is you're obviously, you work with a lot of different directors, being that you're working on a lot of different movies. You've also directed some things yourself. When you directed a couple episodes of Hercules, or so your IMDb says, I'm assuming.
Yes, I have.
Yes.
I've directed before.
And now, the question I have is, do you find that when you go onto a lot of these more independent movies, do you find that a lot of these first-time or even maybe not as experienced directors look to you a little bit as, as a little bit of the beacon of, am I doing this right? Is this how you would have done it back in the day? Or, is it a learning experience for everyone, and you kind of act as a bit of a mentor to a lot of people?
I've always found directors that were actors before are, at least from an actor's point of view, make better directors. I mean, obviously there's wonderful directors out there that went down that road, but I remember when I was in LA, or Bruce was down here, I was in acting class, and I tried to get the toughest acting classes, the ones that they said, you can't get that, and they got to wait for a year or 2 years to get a chance to get an audition or whatever. But I figured those are the ones you wanted to get into and work hard on. And I was also impressed that there would be some directors in there taking those acting classes. Not that they wanted to be actors, they just wanted to be in that environment to see what the actor's world was like compared to their world. Because even though you're still working on the same movie, a director's got a whole set of different responsibilities. I mean, I still prefer acting. Directing, that's hard work. I mean, you're a cop to everybody, to everything. And to act and direct at the same time, you're looking at 20-hour days. It's just crazy. But, it's just like when you read a book. Everybody reads a book, and in your mind, you see what's going on. What books, 9 times out of 10, are better than the movies they make out of those books, because they never match you. I mean, how many times do people say, I'm sure you said it too, the book was better? Because, you still can't recreate visually on film what people read or see in their minds. I mean, read a script, everybody has a good idea of what they're seeing, what that movie should end up being like. So, that's a huge amount of responsibility. And certainly you can change things that producers will do in the editing room, but it still comes down to the director's vision. And, to me, it can be very intimidating, but at the same time, the whole creative process is just a blast to me. I mean, if I didn't love what I do, believe me, I'd get out of this town. It's crazy. It's crazy here.
And speaking of some of the work that you do have coming up and relating it to that, you have, obviously we just showed the trailer for What If. We also have The Kings of Mykonos that is coming out. You've got Pool Boy, Flesh Wounds, Julia X. There's a lot of movies. Paradox, Coffin. You're such a busy guy. You're everywhere. Number one, how do you fit all that together along with your family time? And I guess I'll ask that question first before I continue. How do you fit all that in?
Well, I'm usually up at 4:30, 5 o'clock every morning to begin with, and that's 11:30 or 12. So I find the time when I can find it. I like staying busy. I've always had any type of personality where I've got to be doing stuff or I go crazy. You know, sometimes my family does suffer from it. I try to make more time for my kids. They miss me when I'm on the road. I've been on the road a lot this month. I was gone 4 months from them this year, which I did enjoy. You know, thank God for Skype, because at least when you physically can see them, you know, visually can see them, it makes a difference than just talking on the phone. And that helped me feel at least a little bit closer to them. But you know, it's tough. You just juggle and do what you can. But you know, like I said, I love this profession. I'm just working as hard as I can to try to keep myself busy. And since I started my own production company, I've stayed really, really busy. And I've created a lot of work through the contacts I've made through the years. I've got I think 9 movies coming out. And the first one comes out this month with What If. And we'll continue. I think the last one will come out probably in about 7, 8 months from now with Soul Surfer, which will be a pretty big release on Sony. I think about 3,000 screens last I heard.
Oh, that's going to be a good one. It's you know, do you often get involved in, you know, and obviously you're involved in a lot of other projects, and some of them have other directors, and, you know, I would assume distribution plans and stuff like that. Are there questions as an actor that you ask the director or the producer before you get involved, like, where is this thing going to end up? Like, it's great to get a paycheck and everything, but, you know, is there actually like a valid distribution plan? Will this help my career?
Well, ultimately, that's what we all want. I mean, we all want people to see our work. I mean, otherwise, why do it? And, you know, the biggest and the 2 toughest things to get right now in this town are distribution and financing. Mm-hmm. It's just brutal out there. You know, in Hollywood, we rarely want to take chances on newer material, and that's why you got Pirates of the Caribbean 4 going on. I mean, I'll go see it, too. I'm like everybody else. I love the big visuals and big special effects and stuff, but I still like the movie that's got a little bit of soul to it, a little bit of heart to it, a little bit of story to it. And there's so many movies that Hollywood makes that just don't have that. There's just, you know, you go see these movies that cost $150 million, and you go, but you don't care about any of the characters. You don't care. You know, okay, great. There's a huge explosion there, and look at that. Oh, look at that transformer. You know, but you go, there's no story there. You don't care. I like to be part of, hopefully, part of something that people will be entertained by. It's all escapism anyway. Nothing's going to be perfect, of course. But you know, I always fight. I like comedy and everything. I can't help that. That's the sarcastic, smart-ass in me, I guess. But I like to have humor brought in one way or the other in almost everything I do. I try to find a spot for it.
And that
there's a line I used to say on drama all the time. It's never easy. And since that show finished 5 years ago, I always try to put that line in because fans look for it. They love it. I try to put it somewhere in everything that I do. I just try to find a spot where I can say it's never easy. And I know that's kind of a wink and a grin with the fans that follow me the most.
And, you know, you brought up Andromeda real quick, and you know, shows like Andromeda and Hercules that are still playing today, and you still have a really rabid fans for it. Like, I have, you know, geeky sci-fi conversations and you know, with people all the time, and you know, we'll talk about Star Wars, Star Trek, obviously, so that, but then someone, you know, sometimes me, sometimes other people will be like, yeah, but what about Andromeda? That show was awesome. And do you ever, I don't want to say, do you ever feel that you get kind of stuck in those characters, and has something like that typecasting almost ever hurt your career at all? And how do you deal with that as an actor?
Well, the only place that I've been typecast is within Hollywood. And fans still, the ones that follow me, still like the things that I do and the variety of things that I've been doing in the last 5 years. Hollywood is the one that blinds us on. They don't get it. I mean, Hercules was huge. We passed Baywatch in 1996 as the most watched TV show in the world. I still want to meet some of these guys in some of these meetings, these producers, directors, casting people, and they'll make a comment, oh, I thought you come in the loincloth. I go, well, obviously you never saw the series because I never wore a loincloth in the 7 years I shot the series, you know. And they didn't. But Hollywood, you know, they blind us in this town. It's just, And it's all about the latest person, the latest whatever out there, and Hollywood just jumps on that bandwagon. It's like our government right now passing bills they've never even read, 2,000 pages, they haven't read these things.
No.
So it's that same mentality that goes on in Hollywood. They just jump on a bandwagon and they follow the flow of whoever else says, oh, this person's hot, that person's hot, and that's what they do. So it's funny, you do have to constantly reinvent yourself and get in that room. I like to get in the room. Get me in the room with these people. I'll win them over, whether they get the part or not. They'll go, wow. And that's how I got Soul Surfer. I know the director of Soul Surfer. He knew that I did these series for 12 years. Well, he goes, well, you've got 300 hours of television. You must be able to act, So, and I met him. I read for this part. It was a completely different part for me. And then halfway through I ended up getting the part. And halfway through the filming in Hawaii, he comes up to me one day and he said, wow, you're good. I was like, oh, I thought I was pretty good in Hercules, too. I mean, not anybody could have played that part. I mean, I worked very hard on that part. I don't like it when Hollywood just sort of just shoves it to one side and throws 7 years of 100-hour weeks and 2 hours a day lifting weights hard is not working. There's not an actor in Hollywood who works harder than I did for 7 years. There's not. I mean, you can't find one that worked as physically as hard as I did for those 7 years. There's just no way.
And you guys, as from even the television perspective, were even doing a lot of the early blue and green screen work. You were acting against stuff that wasn't there, or stuff like that too, because they did a lot of the early CGI work on shows like Andromeda and Hercules and stuff like that too.
Yeah, but that's fun. That's just being a kid. that's just you going back to your backyard when no one's around, the neighbors are gone, and you pretend like you're fighting the dragon. And that's you just harken back to being a 6-year-old all over again.
Now, going back to some of the movies that you have coming out, I mean, were there any real challenges were you just able to draw upon your experience for something like Coffin or Paradox or Julia X or anything like that? I mean, are there any experiences where, as an actor who's experienced, do you still learn things?
Oh, there's no question to learn things. I mean, that's what's fun about being an actor. I'm always been very comfortable with who I am as a person, but I love trying on other people's shoes. It's fun for me. That's why people get involved in acting, I would think. I mean, come on, we're just make-believe. We're children, really. So we're lucky to make any money in this stupid business at all. But I loved, gosh, there's a couple I got coming on. Julia X was very interesting to me. I mean, Julia X is a 3D psychological thriller where I play a serial killer, and I get my victims off the internet dating service. It was a very dark place for me to go every day on the set, but I mean, I don't carry that stuff with me. I'm not a method actor. I mean, I know what it's like to be happy or be sad or be angry or whatever it may be. I turn it on and off. That's just an emotion all of us have. It's just a matter of tapping into it at the right time. You work with method actors, and I've worked with actors where they weren't supposed to like me in the script. They didn't like me the whole time we shot. I'm like, well, dude, relax. We're just acting. It's like, geez. But, to each his own. And, I just have, that movie to me was a real physical workout and a mental workout as well. And then, other movies, it's just, the script is so beautiful and all that. It's just a nice, wonderful ride in the park sometimes.
Has there ever been a movie where or a script that you've read where you said, this is me, I'm playing this. This is, stop casting right now if you're looking for anyone else for this part, this is me?
Well, any movie I'm interested in, I feel that way. But it certainly happened with What If. I mean, Dallas Jenkins, who directed it, is a friend of mine, and his wife and my wife are friends. Our kids are the same ages, and he was telling me about this movie, and we was thinking about casting, and I said, well, I'd like to read it. He goes, okay, send it to me. I read it, and I said, well, have you cast the father role yet? And he said, well, I told you I'm thinking about it. And I said, well, I don't want you to think about it. I want the part. So he said, really? And I said, yeah, I love this part. And that, to me, that was a really good workout for me as an actor, because I'm in the entire movie. It was only a 3-week shoot, and it should have been a 5 or 6-week shoot to really feel comfortable as an actor living down. But I think in the 3 weeks we shot, I'm proud. I'm proud of how that film turned out with everybody. I think the chemistry on set was amazing. The acting was outstanding by everyone. I just thought that John Ratzenberger, Christy Swanson, Debbie Ryan, they just all did a great job, and all the supporting cast was just great. And we had a premiere last week and a half ago in Chicago with 3,600 people. It was filled to the brim. I've never been to a premiere with that many people. They could turn 1,000 people away. It was just amazing
that's I would have to imagine. I can't imagine that's being in a scenario where people are clapping for me like that because, well, pretty much I have 2 people in my studio currently. I have many people. Oh, thank you guys. But you know, obviously we have an audience. But no, I find that to be unbelievable. The quick question I have, you know, so you're talking about being proud of something and, you know, and working really hard. That seems to translate over to the next thing I want to talk about, and which is you are a very active charitable person. You are a chairperson of a charity called World Fit for Kids, which I want to bring up to everyone. You can go over to worldfitforkids.org and you can go check this out. But could you explain a little bit to the audience, Kevin, what that charity is?
I've been involved with it now since 1996, early 97, and it's an after-school program based on 2 levels where we train inner-city teens to become mentors to younger children within their own community. And so in effect, you're saving 2 lives at the same time. LA County is just another example of many major metropolitan areas across America, how bad the dropout rate is. And Los Angeles is 54%, starting as low as 5th grade. It's unbelievable. I work with over 12,000 kids in the same schools, and we have a 98% graduation rate. So we're pretty proud of the work that we do. I mean, a lot of it is fighting childhood obesity, keeping kids physical active, working with their grades, keeping them busy with things they want to do, whether it's basketball, whether it's learning how to play the clarinet, whatever it may be, supply what they want to do with the things that they want to do to better themselves. And we try to get them ready for the workforce, and for college, and also get ready for the workforce beyond college. We received an award from Governor Schwarzenegger about 2.5 years ago now for having the best after-school program in the entire state of California. So we're very proud of that award. With that, we got inundated with all these letters from after-school programs across the country saying, what do we do? What is our program? Why is it so successful? So we decided to go nationwide with it a couple years ago. Now we just had our 2nd annual golf tournament, which helps raise money for that. And it's a 3-day event in Vegas where we have comedy acts, and second night, awards night of golf with live music acts, and it's just a wonderful experience.
And you know, I really like the fact that you're not just picking kids out of like 1 grade and then that's it. Like you do a semester or a year with them and then you're done. It seems like you guys are kind of following these different people all the way up until.
We started in 1st grade. It was 1st through 12th grade. 1st
through 12th, and do you kind of does the organization even keep in touch with kids after that to kind of follow up to see like, hey, how are you doing in college or anything of that nature?
Oh, sure. They love this program. The kids, I mean, parents are dying to get their kids in there. We just can't afford more than the 12,000 we got. The governments keep making these cuts over and over again. We would take all of them if we could. It's just, you know, I go to Washington, D.C. twice a year to speak to those bozos on both sides of the political fence and say, why are you cutting physical education? Why are you cutting music? Why are you cutting drama? Why are you not letting kids, you know, give them a curriculum that's important to them? I mean, the public school system's in huge distress in this country. People start paying attention to it.
So yeah, obviously you have children of your own and you work with a lot of kids. Going to your kids specifically, have they ever expressed interest in acting, and have you already kind of had to give them any advice or anything like that of like, look, if you really want to do this, I'm behind it or against it or whatever?
Yeah, I've got my 8-year-old and my 4-year-old certainly want to be in the acting profession. I kind of hope that they don't want to be, but you know, when they're around their parent, you know, I've been lucky enough to have success, and I thank the viewers out there, and they kind of go, wow, you know, I mean, every time we go out anywhere, people recognize me, say, hey, how you doing, Kevin? Love your shows, blah, blah, blah. And even, you know, since my oldest is almost 9, I mean, he was just even 2 and able to sort of understand, well, why do they know you, Daddy? Why do they know you? Who is that person? And now he gets it, and I think he thinks it's pretty cool. So, you know, I mean, I wouldn't dissuade them from if they want to, but I'd rather have them be like, you know, pick an easier profession like professional football, baseball.
That's funny. That's funny. An easier. I like that. That's really that's smart. Actually, is what that is.
Well, there's more of a chance of making a living at that.
No, I agree. I no doubt in my mind, acting is hard.
Astronomical.
Yeah. So I'm going going to play a clip in a minute for the charity that Kevin does. I want to I know he's really busy. I want to thank you again, Kevin, because I know you had to move some stuff around for today's meeting, and thank you really, bottom of my heart from that. I really do appreciate it. Kevin is actually going to be, he's going to be in Toronto this September. He's going to be shooting some flicks, or a flick. He's going to be in St. Louis also. Look out for him in Salt Lake City around November, December. You're doing a movie called Rebound there?
Yep, Rebound there. And the one in Toronto is a Christmas movie for Hallmark.
Great. And as far as What If is concerned, you said, is that the Sony release?
What, I mean, is that Sony?
Is that the Sony release? Yeah, What If?
No, the Sony release is Soul Surfer. That's coming out next spring.
That's right, sorry.
That's with Dennis Quaid and Helen Hunt and Carrie Underwood in her first feature film, and Anna Sophia Robb.
Oh, awesome, awesome. Now, as far as What If, you just said you just had your premiere in Chicago. Where can we see, where do you think we're going to see What If next?
Where What If is? I'm sorry, what was that?
Oh, I'm sorry. Where can the audience see What If next?
Oh, they need to go to thewhatifmovie.com, and they can find out all the information. They can see some clips, they can see some scenes, and then they'll also find out what theater it's showing at.
Awesome.
This is the movie that's only got a 300-screen release, and we're just hoping that word of mouth propels this thing to bigger and better things. It's a wonderful film. People keep saying they want to see good family movies with good morals and good values. Well, this is that type of movie. And if people want to see more movies like this, then they kind of go. Because trust me, Hollywood will put more of these out if they know they can make money out of them.
Oh, absolutely. And thankfully, someone in the audience was nice enough. My co-host just let me know that someone just posted a link for a full list of the theaters that What If is at like a couple of minutes ago. I missed it because I'm paying attention to you. So all the theaters are out there. So that's awesome. I do want to take one audience member question here. Alley Cat actually asks, what made Kevin decide to do the movie Julia X, which is so totally different from any other character you've played before?
I'm going to get a lot of questions on this one when it comes out. I know that. So, I think it was timing more than anything else. I've always wanted to play kind of a bad guy, and I don't physically kill anybody in the movie. You won't see me kill anybody in the movie. There will be some violence, there's no question. It gets bloody, but it's not like Friday the 13th where people are getting slashed up and all that kind of stuff. It's more a psychological thriller than anything. It's a very bizarre love affair is what it turns out to be. And my character, he is a sick guy, but he's sick in a very sort of smooth way, in a very schizophrenic way. So I think I was drawn to the character for that reason. I found it just a very interesting read, and PJ Petit is a director. He's from New Orleans, and I know some of his earlier stuff, and I met him, and he's a cool guy, and I just think, no, I want to be part of this. It was from an actor's standpoint, it was a pretty cool thing to do. I mean, I've been being the good guy my entire life, and it was kind of just fun to do something different. I think a lot of it was just to show Hollywood that, okay, look at it. I think I play a pretty good creep too. So, it's like John Malkovich in The Line of Fire with Clint Eastwood. I just thought he made such a great villain, and I think if anything, I sort of looked at him in terms of his character. You can never really copy what other actors do. Every actor's got their own nuances and mannerisms, and they bring a lot of themselves to the roles they play. But I think just the essence of the character he played was a big influence on me.
All right. And one last question from the audience. Gump asks, where and when can we see Paradox? And then he follows that up by saying, ask him about Paradox! Exclamation point, exclamation point,
You know what? It's a very cool movie. I don't know what's going on with that. I've seen bits and pieces of it already. It looks great. I know they had a lot of visual effects they had to fit in. There's strong interest. I think for sure it's got a theatrical release in Canada because that's where it was shot. Europe, I don't know what's going to happen with it over there. In the States, I know Sci-Fi is very interested in it. FX, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, where it's going to end up, but it's maybe there are fans of the Arcane comic books and the Paradox comic, and it's we'll see. It's going to get out there eventually, but I can't. I wish I knew when it was going to get out. I actually asked the director last week I emailed him, I haven't heard back from him. He's hiding from me. He knows I'm after him.
Well, that's going to be interesting when that comes out. I'm looking forward to it too. If our audience is that kind of into it and asking for it, then it's got to be good. I want to thank you again for coming on. I want to remind the audience that they can actually go follow Kevin Sorbo on Twitter at twitter.com/ksorbs. You can also fan him up on, or like him, or however they're wording it now, over on Facebook. Just look him up. It's his official fan page. You can totally find it. It's good there. He's also obviously has his own website. What's your website, Kevin? Is it kevinsorbo.com or .net?
KevinSorbo.net will give you all kinds of information of things that are coming up, conventions. I'll be in Dragon Con. People, they just go online. They'll see all kinds of stuff that I have going on.
Yeah, Kevin's always around, and I want to thank. He's such a nice guy to come on, and I really thank you again for moving stuff around for us, and have fun on your trip, and be safe, obviously. I want to again remind everyone they can go to worldfitforkids.org to check out Kevin's charity that he's supporting and has for a long time now, and we're going to play that clip in 1 second. Thank you, Kevin. Have a great night. I'm not going to keep you any longer.
All right, I appreciate it. Have a good night yourself, guys. Take care.
Hey, thank you very much. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye. All right, so it's fine. Okay, I have to go get a book upstairs.
What makes a hero?
Which is the next
A
segment.
hero show noble qualities, make wise choices, and show great courage in the face of great challenges.
Yes.
And it definitely helps if they have the ability to slay mythical monsters while wearing leather pants.
Whoa! That guy is really good. But seriously, what truly makes a hero? Saving lives. My nonprofit organization, A World Fit for Kids, does just that. And not only are the staff doing heroic work day in and day out to change kids' lives, but they are empowering these young people to be the heroes for their peers, their families, their schools, and their communities, saving many lives in the process.
The threat here is childhood obesity. It's come to the point where our nation spends nearly $150 billion on obesity-related health conditions every year. And experts predict that 1 in every 2 Hispanic or black children born in this decade will develop type 2 diabetes. A World Fit for Kids has been at the forefront of the battle to reverse the obesity epidemic for over 16 years. On the playgrounds, through after-school programming, and through effective and essential trainings for teens and adults to become physical activity leaders who get kids moving. But we don't just address childhood obesity. We provide a triple bottom line for the students in our programs and trainings: obesity reduction, increased high school graduation rates, and work readiness training.
Let's take Frank Delomo Elementary School. It's one of WorldFit's program sites in Los Angeles, a city where we serve more than 12,000 students a year, and where we refine the highly effective program model that we teach in our trainings. Like most other California public schools, Frank Delomo Elementary has zero budget for physical education classes or after-school programming. And that's where WorldFit comes to the rescue.
Every day after school, students come out to play, learn, and grow at WorldFit programs, where they engage in activities that help them develop their physical, emotional, and mental fitness. WorldFit's program model is unique. We have well-trained adults serving as the mentors for local high school students who in turn are trained to serve as our assistant coach mentors. This means that older kids
and in life. In fact, almost 100% have graduated from high school, and the majority of them go on to higher education.
Through the Teen Fit for Success program, not only have I excelled in my leadership skills and as a mentor to the young kids, but I've also excelled in my confidence as a student, and I'm ready to head on to college. The Teen Fit for Success program really gave me an experience that I can take on with me after high school.
1, 2, 3.
The afternoon program at Frank Del Olmo begins with an energy break, where the kids get the chance to be active after sitting most of the day. Then they're ready to get mentally focused and receive assistance with their homework. When that's done, it's time, of course, for a healthy snack. And then on to more moving with age-appropriate games that make learning basic motor skills fun, like running through a circuit of fitness-building activities and games. Once a week, the students also get a hands-on experience in nutrition education where they learn how to eat right and make their own healthy snacks. These kids then share what they learn with their peers, families, and even teachers. They truly become heroes and advocates for healthy choices, and their influence brings about positive, lasting change for themselves and also other people in their lives.
I think it's very important to have a program like this here at Frank Del Olmo. This will provide boys and girls an opportunity to come out, play, have a good time, exercise, but most importantly, to be safe, and that's what's needed.
WorldFit programs do change lives. And our goal is to bring our award-winning programming to many more youth and our trainings to teens and adults who work with them. But WorldFit can't do it alone. We need your help so we can continue to equip new generations of heroes, young people who are the change agents in your communities. And you can be a hero by providing your support.
With partners like you, we will be able to continue these life-changing programs at schools like Frank Del Olmo Elementary, and also provide training so that others throughout our nation can achieve the same breakthrough results.
So please make a donation and make a difference in the life of a kid who needs it most, because with your help, we're going to create all of our futures depend on it, right?
And we're back, everyone. I want to thank everyone for sticking with us. That was Mr. Kevin Sorbo, and I'm really, again, happy that he was on the show. But we've got more show for you. I actually want to talk next about our Indiegogo project of the week. It is called Per Vertigo. Honestly, the way I choose these generally is I just kind of peruse the Indiegogo website. I go to indiegogo.com, and I just kind of look and see what's interesting to me. Like, what would I fund? And I saw this, and obviously, yes, the title definitely got me. But then I watched the pitch video. Pitch video is one of the funniest things I've ever seen, mostly because of how it's presented and how the people who are doing it look. It's just got a really great look to it. It's actually shot fairly well, and I'm really looking forward to checking it out. They're well on their way to actually finishing their goal. They're over halfway now, or about halfway, and they got plenty of time left. So if you guys are out there, you got an extra $1, $2, $10, $50, whatever, go on over to indiegogo.com/pervertigo and vote with your dollar, because they are our Indiegogo project of the week, and they appear to be quite awesome. And I'm really looking forward to seeing that completed film. So again, check them out. Even if you don't give them any money, sometimes you can't. I hope you do, but sometimes you can't. What I want you to do, though, is at least spread the word through, Twitter, Facebook. Indiegogo has all these cool, buttons. You just click them, boom, done. I mean, all the social media buttons and stuff are pretty easy. You can even include it in your a little widget in your email or on your website or something like that if you do so choose to kind of show your support for, not only this project, but any project that you support. Although this week we're supporting Per Vertigo. I just love saying the name. Ryan, Per Vertigo.
Per Vertigo?
Per Vertigo.
Per Vertigo?
Indeed.
Ooh.
Yes. Dave. Per
Nerf.
Per Vertigo.
Per Vertigo.
Nerf. No, Jerry.
Stuck like Chuck 2?
No. That's done. That is done and over with, my friend. Gump here in the chat room actually said, I heart crowdfunding. I love crowdfunding. I do and I don't. It's weird. I have like a real love-hate relationship with crowdfunding. I like Indiegogo for what it tries to do. My opinion on Kickstarter is that if I'm being quite honest with the audience, regardless of our relationship with Indiegogo, I think that if you're raising like a shit ton of money, Kickstarter is a real good way to go, just based on their actual like fan base. I mean, and I hate to say that, they have a bigger fan base. It happens. But honestly, if I'm being honest, I think Indiegogo has better tools. So, and more payment. I mean, you can't pay with PayPal with Kickstarter. I think they're only Amazon payments. So that being said, I know that I love giving with PayPal because it's like one button done. All right, so that is what it is. So good luck to any other filmmakers that are out there with their campaigns. Feel free to choose whoever you want. In this particular case, though, we're getting behind Indiegogo.com and this particular project. What is it called again?
Pervertigo?
Pervertigo. All right. No, not nerve. Pervertigo. So we, but wait, there's more. There's always more. We've got more show a little bit. I want to talk about a book I just got done reading. It's been on the shelves for a little while now, not too long. It was published this year, so it couldn't have been too long. Relatively new, by Edward J. Epstein. For those of you who can't see it, I'll lift it up a little bit. Otherwise, I'll put it right here. It's called The Hollywood Economist. And if you guys haven't read this yet, you're really kind of, well, missing out. It's just a really, it's a very concise book. I mean, I got through this in less than 3 or 4 days. It's only like 200 and some pages, and that's not even including like the afterword, which is basically all charts and stuff. But it basically takes you through, the subtitle of it is The Hidden Financial Reality Behind the Movies. And what it does is it includes, obviously, a lot of examples from Hollywood, but it gets into indie a little bit. As far as how movies are not only bought and sold, how they're marketed, how, where the real money for the studios lies. And it's funny because as you read it, you realize it has nothing to do with the theatrical. It really very rarely has anything to do even with the DVD to a point. It's all back-end finance, product placement deals, and it's all stuff that is kind of a combination of everything of where films are being financed from and where and how the studios are making out profit-wise. They set up shell companies. They do a lot of tax maneuvers. They do a lot of things. And it's funny. One of the things that they mention a couple of times in this book is that, the studios are always crying poor. We're going to close this, we're going to close that. We can't afford to release this, that, or the other thing. Billions of dollars the studios have. Billions. And it's really ridiculous, and almost every move that a studio makes is highly calculated and generally follows a lot of pre-existing models. And even with the inception of the digital age, those models have they haven't really changed very much, which I find to be really interesting. And that actually the digital age scares the shit out of the studios, and how they're trying to take all the old models and try to adapt them, and how they're not really doing a good job, and even how earlier in the past decade or so, a lot of studios got rid of, I think one of the ones they mentioned specifically, I want to say was Paramount, just jettisoned like everybody and hired all television executives, which I think is a really interesting, it's saying something really interesting about the industry in general. If they're going to people who not only are very forward-thinking about franchising, but also about things like product placement, and not only that, but window placement of where is my product, the product being the movie in this case, where is it available and when? Because television's really good about that. Advertising, selling spots, putting things in certain, in seasons, and then selling it again afterwards, reruns, DVDs, all this kind of stuff. It's just a really good book. Again, Edward J. Epstein, the guy's written an abundance of stuff. He's out there, his first thing, Inquest, the Warren Commission, and the Establishment of Truth. He's not just a Hollywood guy, although now he does also act as an expert witness in litigations involving monies exchanging hands in Hollywood. Like if some actor is suing a studio, they'll call him up as an expert witness to be like, well, this is where the money went. This is how it actually happened. And they provide financial statements and stuff like that in here that are really interesting to both studio and independent filmmakers. It goes to show you exactly how these budgets are actually made, spent, and then balanced after the fact. And if you're an independent filmmaker sitting there going like, look, I only need 30 grand. This will show you where to get 30 grand from, but also what you have to give up to get that 30 grand. And quite frankly, it's not worth it in that particular case, or most cases, and it can also take years to actually even accomplish, depending on the route you choose to go, and how a lot of these old established routes are closed off now. So it's just a really interesting book. And I wanted to bring it up. I know we don't generally discuss books a lot, but I really wanted to bring it up because I just got finished reading it and I thought it was really, really interesting. So that being said, we're basically running about on time for the end of the show, and I'm really happy about that. Ryan, did we have anything?
Anything?
Anything else that I forgot? At this point, no?
We have Nerf.
Yeah, well...
We have Nerf, but, I mean, you know, no one around here really gives a shit.
No, that's okay. I want to actually mention, just real quick before we go, Indiegogo.com/nerfed, donate copious amounts of dollars.
We got a $100 donation the other day.
Did we?
It was anonymous, so I can't talk about it.
Awesome.
But we got a $100 donation. It was just the name that's anonymous.
All right, great. So $100 donation there. So, and we got other donations as well. So I want to I want to thank whoever that was that donated. Thank you. And next, so Indiegogo.com/nerfed. Also go to www.nerfedlife.com. The first episode will be premiering this week, possibly tonight, so keep your eyes open. So that being said, I want to thank everybody for showing up tonight. I want to thank special guest Kevin Sorbo, and I want to thank all of our just our audience and Jerry, who we didn't really have a chance to get on tonight, and everyone. Yes, and I want to encourage everyone to follow us over at twitter.com/FilmSnobbery, and also fan us up on Facebook, facebook.com/FilmSnobbery. And as always, yeah. And then obviously you can always find us every day, our reviews, interviews. I've got a new interview coming up over at www.filmsnobbery.com this week, so be sure to check us out and check out all of our great columns by our awesome columnists and everything else. So thank you very much. Good night, everyone. See you next week.
Bye.